After nearly 2 decades, Victoria's most infamous gangland figure, Tony Mokbel, walked free and straight into a media circus.
He's a very notorious figure and one who has dominated the underworld for so many years.
Do you have anything to say to police, Mr. Mockbell?
Now he's gearing up to have his drug convictions quashed.
It's as serious as it gets for police. I think this was the convictions that they don't want to see overturned.
The Court of Appeal's decision to release him was based on previous findings that he was deliberately misled and deceived by his former lawyer Nicola Gobbo, who was informing on him to police.
Do you have anything to say to Nicola Gobbo?
Because of this, they said Mockbell has a very strong case to have his drug convictions overturned.
It's her actions that precipitated all of this, but of course the police involved are also accountable.
From the very beginning of this story, 11 years ago, he was the first person identified as probably being the most momentous of all of the people that were in the Alysia X scandal. Nicola Gobbo's biggest client at the time.
In the mid-90s, Tony Mokbel was a businessman and pizza shop owner.
How do I feel? If there was a bit of money around, we'd better.
By the early 2000s, he was accused of running a multi-million-dollar drug syndicate that was embroiled in Melbourne's bloody gangland war.
Mr. Mockbell, how would you describe the Crown case against you?
In 2006, he was on trial for importing 2 kilograms of cocaine. His barrister was Nicola Gobbo. Herald Sun journalist Anthony Dowsley broke the story in 2014 and eventually unmasked the double life of Nicola Gobbo, who was dubbed Lawyer X.
She was an informer at the time. She was giving away legal strategy at the time in this trial at 2006. He goes away on a yacht called the Edwina to Greece. He causes the greatest manhunt in probably Australian history, and we have to return him 15 months later on a Gulfstream jet.
The infamous image of Mockbell wearing an ill-fitting wig was captured when he was arrested in Greece and extradited to Australia.
We had some information that we were able to provide to the Greek authorities that he'd be at a certain cafe.
It was a circus, and this whole scheme, as the authorities will tell you, was a bad idea. And Nicola Gobbo was uncontrollable. She was giving across privilege. She was also, turning around and telling the criminals sort of things that they needed to hear.
He was tried and sentenced to 26 years for drug trafficking.
It's rigging the system when you've got someone's lawyer actually working for the other side, and that was the most simple way to explain this entire saga.
Oh, I think it's a blot on the legal system, without a doubt.
The fallout was a royal commission into the management of police informants and a special investigator who was tasked with examining whether charges could be laid against Victoria Police, but the Director of Public Prosecutions rejected the recommendations. Hundreds of millions of dollars was spent trying to pinpoint who was responsible. Who's been held accountable for this?
In many ways, no one. No one in authority in particular. Simon Overland, he knew about this scheme and that he should have at least been held accountable in some way, but it seems to me that no one will be.
Last year, a Supreme Court hearing into Mockbell's conviction described the partnership between Victoria Police and Nicola Gobbo as a joint criminal enterprise to pervert the course of justice.
Well, I go back a long way with Nicola Gobbo.
Tony, how does freedom taste?
David Galbally is a former criminal barrister. He's known Nicola Gobbo since she was in high school.
Well, I gave Nicola Gobbo some advice during the time that she was a young barrister, learning her way, gave her some particular advice which I won't go into because that's privileged. And she was a strong individual who was very determined to make her mark.
David Galbally believes Tony Mokbel could be entitled to possibly millions in compensation. He disagrees with the Victorian government's decision last year to cap compensation in these matters to $1 million.
I mean, a person is entitled to compensation in the amount, whatever it is, that the court or a jury system jurors seem to be the correct amount, and it shouldn't be capped. I think that's grossly unfair.
For now, Mockbell must abide by strict bail conditions, including wearing an ankle bracelet and agreeing not to leave Australia.
I think he feels pretty aggrieved at who he thought was his friend and his lawyer double-crossing him, but he will know that she's also been the key to him being able to get out of jail.
Tony, is there anything at all you would like to say to us this morning?
Now, Tony Mokbel's every move is being followed, from his morning walk to shopping. So far, he's remained silent on lawyers' instructions. He may have more to say if his appeal is successful later this year.
There will be other stories with more people appealing, but they may not work. This is the last one and the major one in this whole big saga.